Welcome, greetings to all this session of Power Boost. My name's Judi. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And today we are going to explore something that's always with us, which is our mind. It's always working, even when we are sleeping. It's busy doing its thing, which is thinking, creating thoughts, a beautiful thing. Creating thoughts is a wonderful capacity to have. And the wonderful thing about it is that every thought I have leads to a feeling. This connection is really important. So I can think myself into all sorts of interesting states. And when some scene's unfolding in front of me, it's not so much the scene itself, but how I think about that scene that determines how I feel. And so the mind is this remarkable, wonderful, magical vehicle that can carry me into all sorts of different states. Yes, for better or worse. But why not harness the power of the mind to carry me into benevolent, peaceful, loveful, positive, pure states? That's what we're going to explore. Is the vehicle of the mind, how it's going to take me inwards and then upwards. So fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Making sure that the body is seated comfortably and ideally seated. So maybe not lying down, seated. And if you want to try this with your eyes comfortably open, we invite you to do that as well. And feel free to take a breath or two if that helps the body and the mind to really settle into the space. And go ahead, a breath in. And then that slow release of air from the lungs that helps to slow everything down. And maybe another breath in. And again, the magic of letting go. Perhaps dissolving some hidden tension in the body, but also inviting the mind to be fully present. And it's a little easy at that point to shift the focus from the breath of the body to the activity of my own mind behind the forehead. Imagining that space is a bit like my inner garage, and the vehicle of the mind is there, waiting for me to seat my attention, my sense of self. I, the experiencer, seat myself in the vehicle of my own mind. I put my mind, the attention back on the breath of the body. It's something concrete. I can observe that rhythm of inhale and exhale. Begins to feel like waves, and the vehicle of my mind begins to feel like a boat that's being carried on the waves of the breath. My sense of self, my attention, seated in the boat of my own mind that's being carried on the waves of the breath. Every wave carrying me a little further from the shore of worldly thoughts, familiar thoughts, ordinary thoughts, even habituated thoughts. I see that shore starting to recede, the sound of those thoughts drifting into the distance as the waves of the breath carry me deeper and deeper inside my own inner world, away from thoughts of the outer world, roles, responsibilities, deeper and deeper inside, away from even that sense of time. Each wave carrying the boat of my mind into a more and more quiet, calm, and simple space inside, where there's no sense or pressure of time. Very calm, uncluttered, until I'm completely and only aware of my own presence. I, the thinker, in the boat of my mind, a mind that has let go of all worldly thoughts and arrived at this very peaceful point, just aware of the self in a very calm space. And in that moment, it's as if the boat of my mind has changed into a hot air balloon. I start to feel lighter, start to let go of all those sandbags, those thoughts I believed were so necessary to think. I'm letting them go. Maybe it's unresolved issues, scenes of the past, worries about the future. For the moment, just letting all those sandbags go. And with each release, I feel the vehicle of my mind, that hot air balloon, get lighter and lighter. From having gone deep inside, I feel like I'm moving upwards into very sacred, elevated thoughts, like going above the clouds. Worldly thoughts down below, sense of time down below, and I, in the vehicle of my mind, I'm up above this point of peace in a very light state, able to observe everything down below with more clarity, maybe more maturity, less heaviness. Things start to come into perspective. I am reminded in this light space of what really matters. And of course, it's always the same thing. First and foremost, the well-being of the self, really nurturing that inner peace, the warmth in the heart, the serenity of spirit. That's all that seems to matter up here above the clouds. My mind is free to move into those timeless qualities of the self. And I don't just think them. My mind doesn't just move into them. I am seated in my mind. I experience them. The greatness of the human spirit, the timeless qualities of I, the being. There is that peace, that deep sense of coolness that washes through the mind. And there is love that warms the heart, experiencing the value of the self, the value of others, and of everything. That deep regard is love from the heart. And there is bliss. Up here beyond the clouds, my mind is completely content. I'm always amazed to experience how letting go fills me up. The more I let go, the lighter I am, the more full and content I feel. That bliss of deep well-being. At this point, I'm not even sure I need the vehicle of the mind. There's such an inner sense of floating, so content, so calm, so loving. This soft power of such pure and sacred feelings in the self. It feels like I am now carrying the vehicle of my own mind, filling my own mind with such beautiful thoughts. This short but powerful journey has restored all my capacities such that I'm ready to return, to move outwards again, back to the shore of day-to-day life, but restored after this powerful trip in the wonderful vehicle of my own mind. A journey I can take even in a second, anytime, inwards and upwards. Om Shanti. As always, thank you so much for joining these sessions. Your presence is such a contribution. And of course, we encourage you to take many more journeys upwards in the wonderful vehicle of your own mind. Om Shanti.